This learning object is a production of Abu Dhabi Men's College, Center of Excellence for ICT and Learning Technology.
For us, it's all about students. Some of the things that we think we have to do, we have to make some strategic investments now in order to continue on in the future. For us, at the end of the year, and like most of you, there is money left in a budget that was unspent. We coined that budget dust. And what we're trying to do is try to figure out what kind of one-time investments can we make with the budget dust that will allow us to reduce the cost to students in some ways and to increase our efficiencies. Two quick examples. We're switching our landline phones to voice over IP. It's a one-time investment. It'll save us thousands of dollars next year of continuing costs. We are switching our providers for our online support services through joining with the state system. Today, we charge students $40 for every course that they register for that's online. Because of this collaboration, that charge will be reduced to $4. Not for every course, $4 per term, regardless of how many classes the students take if they're online. Those are two examples, and I'll turn it over to some other folks, but it's about students, it's about strategic one-time investments that allow us to free up continuing resources to move into the future.
Thank you. Alistair, do you have some ideas from the University of Guelph?
Yes, maybe I can try and be a little bit more provocative, because I would like to suggest that in fact there's very little evidence to suggest that universities and colleges are not efficient in what they do. Are we talking about efficiency in terms of the teaching? That is the number of students who remain in the system, the number who graduate, the grades that they get. Are we talking about the degree of volunteerism that they do? Are we talking about the amount of research that they do? Those questions, I think, are ones that would need to be answered before we need to make some comment about whether we're being efficient or not. And I have to say that when I read the material, my blood pressure went up slightly when I saw that there was a suggestion that we should do some cost cutting like companies are doing around the world. When actually universities and colleges have been doing those kind of exercises for a very long time. And if I take us back to the comment made earlier, that actually we're probably one of the few institutions that have been continuing for over 500-600 years, I'd like to suggest that we're actually doing a pretty good job. And last, everybody seems to see that we're the solution. So I don't think this is the time that we need to start searching our souls about what we're doing wrong. We just need to be saying, what is it that we can do better? That doesn't mean efficient necessarily. It just means what can we do to serve society better.
I see lots of hands going up and head nodding. Jay, would you like to work on this point some more?
Well, I very much appreciate, Alistair, your comments, and I will acknowledge in a confessional way that, in fact, I was one of those who represents a sector of higher education in the United States, the Residential Liberal Arts College, that in some ways is unapologetically proud of its inefficiency. We believe that there is an important magic that happens with an intimacy between teachers and learners and keeping folks bound together in a physical setting. It is a bit old-fashioned, it is a bit quaint, and it is decidedly expensive. One of the things that I think that I worry about is whether we have gotten so consumed with increasing the quality of the experiences that we have perhaps put ourselves at a price point that makes it harder and harder for families to find a way to gain access to us. There is something in our American scene around hyper-competition, the ratings games, if you will. As the father of a high school sophomore, I'm now being inundated with the materials that come from institutions, and among them are my own institution's materials. But the numbers of folks that have adapted the notion that lower and lower student-faculty ratios are the important measure of educational quality are stunning. So, 8-1, 6-1 have been the lowest that have come through. We may be too focused and being too inefficient to survive in this global marketplace is one of the concerns that I have.
Thank you, Jay. Dr. Scrivani from Cal State Stanislaus.
Yes, sir. Let me say that, as all of us know, this situation, this financial meltdown, is something unprecedented that we haven't, at least many of us have not really seen it, touched it in the past 40 years. This is a very serious matter. Financial institutions are revamping, re-engineering, re-examining themselves. Many other government offices and organizations doing the same. Academic institutions are not any exception. They have to look at that. And this is a golden opportunity for being more efficient, rethinking higher education, the models. Let me get specific, because we talk a lot generalities. We have to go a little specific. For example, certainly e-learning is on top of the scale. We have not only in terms of efficiency, but also in terms of outreach, reaching education to everyone, or globally, as the gentleman asked before. That's one. But the whole structure of term structure, 120 credits or 130 credits. Why 120? Why 130? Why not 90? I mean, we have always been scared of asking these questions, but this is the time. In Britain, it takes you 3 years to get an undergraduate degree. Certainly because the O-levels and A-levels are stronger than many high school diplomas in other places in the world. But why not 3 years? Why not build up the high school to the 3 years? Now, two, what's happening during the summer? Why not consistently go tri-semester and get it done faster? We're talking about efficiency, because we're talking about an enormous amount of investment, infrastructure, buildings, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, the staff, which are not working 9 months, they're working 12 months. It goes to the whole time. How many courses, in what day of the week, what time, scheduling. All of these are matter of efficiency that we have as college leaders, presidents of institutions, we have really been scared to confront. And this is the time. And we are going to confront a lot of it. There is no doubt about it that this is not going to go away, and it's going to take many years until it levels off. And then once it's changing, it's not going to be that easily everything deja vu again. So there has to be that kind of efficiency measure that we